guess the places that I've been. You never guess the places that I've been. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. I'm never gonna let the day begin. Never gonna let the day begin. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. Oh, don't wake me up before you go, and I'll just make this bed my home. Oh, darling, please just let me sleep. Give me my dreams. Better from above. Nothing's ever as it seems, yeah, except in that world that I dream of. Never gonna lose the ones I love. Never gonna lose the ones I love. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that world that I dream of. Oh, don't up before you go, 'cause I can't face this day alone. Oh, darling, please just let me sleep. Give me my dreams. Give me my dreams. Give me my dreams.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. The Department of Justice says Cole Allen took a mirror selfie about 30 minutes before the Saturday shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Allen faces attempted assassination charges and could receive life in prison if convicted. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth says $400 million in aid to Ukraine has been released.
Hegseth tells a House Armed Services Committee budget hearing the funding was released earlier this week. The aid was allocated as part of the National Defense Authorization Act passed last year. Republican Senator Mitch McConnell has said the funding was delayed and has criticized Pentagon officials. Meantime, President Trump says he spoke to Russian President Vladimir Putin, and he says the Russian leader could soon announce what Trump calls a little ceasefire. I'm Jim Roop.
Dan Bongino says newly found documents tied to the Crossfire Hurricane investigation raise new questions about the FBI probe.
Former FBI official Dan Bongino says he uncovered what he calls a mother lode of documents tied to the FBI's Crossfire Hurricane investigation, claiming they were potentially meant for destruction. Speaking on a podcast with Sean Hannity, Bongino said the materials changed his view of the probe. The claims come amid continued political debate over the origins and conduct of the Russia investigation involving the FBI. Ron Warner, USA Radio News.
Senate Republicans blocked a resolution to stop President Trump from ordering military operations against Cuba without congressional authorization.
The Democrat-sponsored effort was defeated Tuesday. Trump has previously indicated his willingness to intervene in Cuba and has imposed a blockade on oil shipments to the island nation. This comes after the failure of several Democrat-led efforts to limit Trump's war powers with regard to Iran. John Sommers, USA Radio News.
Wall Street closed mixed.
At the closing bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 280 points, the S&P 500 fell 2 points, and the Nasdaq gained 9 points. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Business owners, are you paying high phone bills for old-school systems and lousy service? StrongTel cuts your phone bills in half and turns every phone you own into a feature-rich business system. Sean Roddy, CEO of Hennings Brothers Drilling, had this to say. We've been a StrongTel customer for over 10 years. It's great. It even includes an intercom with video to our equipment yard. I can watch live from anywhere with my smartphone. I'd recommend StrongTel to anyone. Never miss a customer call again with your StrongTel business system. StrongTel is a proud iTex partner and always welcomes your iTex dollars. You'll get award-winning StrongTel service, a business-class phone system, and cut your phone bill in half. Visit strongtel.com. That's StrongTel, StrongTel.com. StrongTel.
Recent rain is helping the fight against the wildfires in southeastern Georgia, but the governor says it's not enough.
Governor Brian Kemp stressed there is a lot to overcome, and the whole state is in the worst drought conditions in nearly 20 years.
A little bit of rain is going to help us, but it's not going to get us out of this situation, and we're going to be dealing with this for quite a while.
The governor has imposed a statewide burn ban to avoid as many new fires as possible. Quite a bit more rain is expected Saturday. So far, more than 180 homes have been destroyed, but no reported loss of life. I'm Scott Kimbler.
A soldier stationed at Fort Polk has been accused of plotting a synagogue attack. Jacob McCollier faces a federal charge of transmitting a threat after allegedly posting on Discord about killing Jewish people. The FBI says audio captured McCollier describing the goal as securing white youth. A big problem is looming ahead of the LA 28 Olympic Games.
Los Angeles Police Chief Jim McDonnell is warning the city lacks officers and funding to safely secure the 2028 Olympics. McDonnell addressed the city council at a budget hearing, saying there's no dedicated police funding tied to the games, despite a broader security budget. He added the LAPD is losing more than 500 officers annually, expects nearly 1.4 million overtime hours this year, and is facing a projected $16.5 million deficit. I'm Sharon Reardon.
And I'm Anthony Lucero, USA Radio News.
iLocal.net is offering a free website analysis to improve the online presence of your business. Business owners across the U.S. turn to iLocal.net to improve their search engine rankings. Search engines are constantly changing their algorithms. You need the professionals who know how to use those changes to benefit your business. Don't hope for new customers. Get found and be chosen. Visit iLocal.net/go for your free website analysis. iLocal.net/go.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. So you missed an episode of the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive, and now you're suffering night sweats and panic attacks. Well, don't worry, we've got the cure. Never miss a broadcast of the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive. Consistently ranked as one of the top podcasts and radio shows in America, we've made it easy for you to catch up on past shows. Find the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive wherever you get your podcasts or at overnightdriveradio.com. And never miss an episode of the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
Another dark night on the interstate. Another 100 miles in the pouring rain. These are worth all the time I've spent away. Another dark night on the interstate. Trying to make it right, my baby's at home, hope she's doing alright. Miss my dogs and I miss my girls. I'm 1,000 miles away from my whole
What do you say? Just like that, we cue the microphone and get ready for a brand new day. And that would be the final day here in the month of April. Would you look at that? April 30 of 2026. As we cross over the midnight hour from time zone to time zone, we'll welcome you in the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios. So what are we at? Hey, Friday Eve, I guess we should say, as we close out Hump Day, start looking toward the weekend just around the corner. I trust you've had a good week. All's quiet outside the Secret Bunker, southwest Ohio tonight. The rains have pushed off to the east. It's a tad bit cooler out there. That's one thing many of us in the eastern third of the country are going to notice in the upcoming days. Hope you haven't put your winter weather apparel away just yet. Yeah, it looks like we're going to be breaking out the coats, especially for the early morning hours here in the coming days. Actually looking at some of the first frost and freeze advisories, our next shot of cooler air already beginning to drop into Minnesota, Wisconsin. Yeah, we'll break that down for you coming up here. It's a soggy night along the eastern seaboard. Looking at rain from New York City, eastern Pennsylvania, eastern New York. Some pretty heavy rain, not reaching severe limits. Still a few thunderstorms. They're rolling through eastern North Carolina. A lot of spotty showers and thunderstorms. Heavy rains in southern Mississippi tonight. More sporadic shower activity through northern Mississippi, Alabama. We do have a few stronger storms over toward the Texas-Louisiana line there. Some of those are indeed prompting severe thunderstorm warnings. Zoom in a little bit here from Nacogdoches to Lufkin, Texas. On over again into the westernmost reaches of Louisiana. Next storm system that's going to bring much more needed rain to the southeast is the storm that's dropping out of the Rockies. We've got rain through eastern portions of Colorado. That would also be much needed rainfall. Most of it south of the Denver area. Some of the higher elevations actually seeing a bit of snow on the western side of Colorado Springs up toward Denver tonight. That's the system that's going to be dropping south and east, bringing more, much-needed rain to the southeastern USA, where the drought conditions continue to spawn wildfires. So let's start right there. That's the system we're talking about, the same storm that's going to bring some late-season snow to Colorado. Will be drenching areas stretching all the way back to New Mexico through Texas, over into Florida and Georgia in the coming days. This will be beneficial, reducing the fire risk, helping ease some of the drought conditions before the storm then towards northward along the eastern seaboard this weekend. While a rare mid-spring rainstorm in the south may disrupt some of your travel and outdoor plans, that moisture is desperately needed. Weeks, actually months of abnormally dry to exceptional drought, turning that region into a proverbial tinderbox. Thousands of brush fires, some of which have grown significantly, forcing evacuations in Florida and Georgia, where the growing season is actually underway. Longer, sunnier days, boosting the evaporation rates. Rainfall is now more critical than ever when it comes to agriculture, reservoirs, and recreation. Most in the region will be welcoming the rainfall as long as it doesn't cause flooding. And for the most part, this system should not lead to flooding. There will be a few exceptions where a couple of inches of rain could fall in a few short hours, especially in some of the hard-pan soil areas of Texas and urban areas along the Interstate 10 and I-20 corridors. Overall, a general 1 to 4 inches of rain is expected. Heaviest totals, more than 2 inches, will be from west central Texas into northern Louisiana and west central Mississippi. So obviously, reduce speed on the highways, use caution at intersections. You've seen a buildup of oil and other residues, which mix with the water, causing very slick conditions. In much of the storm's wet zone, the rain will be a chilly rain, some places rivaling record low high temperatures. While the bulk of the rain focuses along the upper Gulf Coast, some of those downpours will also occur in parts of southern Texas, as well as central and southern Florida. Looks like showers and thunderstorms may very well be in the offing for the Formula One Grand Prix coming up Sunday in Miami. Rain tires will likely be needed for the slick conditions. Yes, they can run in the precipitation, but the real danger for drivers is going to be the blowing spray and reduced visibility they encounter on the straightaways there. But ahead of the rain this weekend, the elevated wildfire risk continues to be an factor of a large portion of Florida. As we roll into Thursday here, this may continue actually into Friday and Saturday for some. If you're enjoying or working in the outdoors, be especially careful with open flames, power equipment, any situation that could produce sparks. This setup, featuring an area of low pressure tracking east along the I-10 corridor, does have the potential to produce some severe thunderstorms Friday into Saturday night along the immediate upper Gulf Coast. The most common problems will be some torrential downpours, lightning strikes, and sudden strong wind gusts. In a few cases, we could see waterspouts or tornadoes briefly spinning up. After the storm crosses the Gulf Coast region, it'll turn northward along the Atlantic coast for a time this weekend. The western edge of the soaking rain likely to align right near the I-85 corridor through the Carolinas into Virginia. At least a few hours of much-needed rain in store from Atlanta to Charlotte on up into Richmond, Virginia. In keeping pace with the chilly nature of the storm in the south, this will be a cold rain in the coastal areas of the Northeast as well. Unless the storm shifts further west this weekend, the steady rain is going to slip just to the southeast of the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, and Boston areas. Those areas may see a bit of rain before the end of the week. If the storm shifts further west, we could actually see a few wet snowflakes mix it in along the northwestern fringe in the mid-Atlantic into New England. Meanwhile, we've talked much of this week about the strong storms, tornadic activity, the update out of Mineral Wells, Texas, as the National Weather Service was out monitoring the devastation this past day, confirming the tornado that flattened homes and warehouses there on Tuesday, given a preliminary rating of an EF3 on the enhanced Fujita scale. Tuesday's damage in Mineral Wells, about 80 miles west of Dallas, after deadly tornadoes this past Saturday night in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, where they had an EF2 tornado confirmed in Runaway Bay, Texas, about 30 miles northeast of Mineral Wells. Another EF1 twister was surveyed in Springtown, 15 miles northwest of Tuesday's damage. Several people into the tornado's path were treated for injuries on the scene or taken to local hospitals Tuesday evening. No fatalities on the Tuesday tornado. Storm chaser Aaron Rigsby was in Mineral Wells and caught video showing the damage, including the buildings shredded by the twister. Whole place destroyed, according to one resident, after the tornado tore through Mineral Wells, Texas on April the 28th. Damage from the tornado began in the Country Club Estates neighborhood, tracking southeast to the National Vietnam War Museum, including a manufacturing complex. Tractor trailers also flipped in the area there. According to the Storm Prediction Center, Texas has had 20 preliminary tornado reports so far this year, most of those here in March and April. All right, first things first, before we get to our listening friends out of the box, I don't know if you're going to be needing to fill up the tank anytime in short order. If you haven't seen a jump in prices, get ready. It's coming. I just came across a few reports locally on our 11 p.m. news where here in Southwest Ohio reports we went from $3.99 a gallon about a week ago. Big jump to like $4.29 early this week. Suddenly this past day, some stations locally jumping to $4.79, $4.99. And we're talking regular gas, not diesel. Diesel and more in the $6.50 range locally. I said, what the hell's going on? Did a quick check. Oil prices, and even as I've sat here for the last hour, couple of hours doing show preparation, I've watched Brent crude prices going from $121 per barrel to $122 to $123. Just a moment ago, $124.99. We're right there. The next update will be in excess of $125 per barrel. This is obviously suddenly being reflected at pumps around the country. I have no idea where the diesel prices are going to go. So let's start right there. Oil jumping like a rocket ship this Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Extending gains. President Trump this past day alluded to an extended blockade of Iran. In other words, continuing. That means the Strait of Hormuz probably not going to be opening anytime soon. This has investors suddenly saying, wait a minute here. We're going to have to deal with this oil shortage, oil shock, possibly for an extended period of time. Axios reporting early Thursday that the Central Command is set to present Trump plans for potential military action in Iran, citing several sources. Now, the president rejecting Tehran's proposal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, signaling the naval blockade is going to remain in place until a broader nuclear agreement. Now, as I said here just a few hours ago, CNBC was reporting Brent was at $121 per barrel. It is indeed $125 at this moment. $125 a barrel. This is the highest we've seen since this whole conflict began. The president appears to threaten Iran in a Truth Social post yesterday, saying the country, quote, better get smart soon. Iran can't get their act together. They don't know how to sign a non-nuclear deal. They better get smart soon. Goldman Sachs estimating that exports through the Hormuz checkpoint have fallen to just 4% of what the normal levels would be. In other words, 96% of oil that would be transiting that is not getting through. That's a good starting point for our Thursday morning. We'll pick up there after this. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. All roads lead to Manheim, Pennsylvania Mother's Day weekend. Join Steve Sommers Saturday, May 9th at the 37th Annual Make-A-Wish Mother's Day Truck Convoy at the Manheim, Pennsylvania Auto Auction. The event features a family fest with food trucks, games, entertainment, plus a cargo of Wish Kids riding in the trucks on the new 33-mile route that travels through Lancaster and Dauphin County and Route 283 West. Join our team, or if you can't make it but want to make a difference for Make-A-Wish by making a donation, get all the details at overnightdriveradio.com. Did you know? Some reports suggest the average lifespan of the American truck driver is around 61 years old. 61. Long hours, sitting all day, constant fatigue. It takes a toll, and most drivers just accept it as part of the job. But what if it's not just the job? What if it's how your body is handling it? There's a breakthrough technology called X39, designed to support your body's natural wellness. Here's what makes it different. It doesn't put anything into your body. No drugs, no stimulants, completely drug-free and non-transdermal. Instead, it uses your own body heat to stimulate your skin, helping elevate GHK-Cu peptides and support stem cell reactivation. That means supporting natural age-reversing processes, helping improve vitality, supporting daily activity, easing movement, and promoting deeper, more restorative sleep. If you spend long hours behind the wheel and want to feel the difference, call 888-687-9007 or visit cb.sycamorewellness.us.
All right, flipping the page here. Hello, Marianne. Good morning, Steve, the Overnight family. All the overnight listeners, everyone have a blessed weekend when you get to it. There is the guardian of chaos. Morning, Steve, 49 degrees, raining here in the Nutmeg State. Looks like we're only going to warm to the lower 50s today. We've got rain off and on in the forecast all day. All right, it's always an excellent listen, good sir. Thank you so much. All right, good to have you on board. Country Bumpkin in the house. Hello, Overnight Drive family. Saddle up, nocturnal listeners. Hello, Pappy. It's the eve of Friday. 50 degrees, Harrison, Ohio. About 15 clicks from the secret hidden bunker buried deep beneath the Earth's crust. There you go. Partly cloudy skies overhead. Sunshine in the forecast tomorrow, though. So our former FBI Director James Comey indicted again on threats to President Trump. He was arraigned now yesterday morning. Idiots claiming free speech. Meanwhile, the noose is tightening on Iran. Naval battle groups are at general quarters. It's time to put an end to this. Finish the job, bring home the troops. A free Iran is in the near future. Snuggle up to whomever or whatever. Butter up the popcorn. Let's watch the show. Yes, indeed. Yeah, the noose is tightening. I think you got that right. More on the extended blockade, again, which is pushing gas prices. I'm just looking at some of the headlines. New York Times, literally about 13 minutes ago, the headline, oil prices soar as Iran standoff shows no end in sight. From the London Guardian, oil prices highest levels since 2022. The U.S.-Iran impasse showing no signs of ending. CNBC an hour ago, Brent crude hits wartime high, soaring past $123 as the military reportedly, as Pappy just mentioned, general quarters, everything's in the air. Moving on to Larry. Good afternoon. Hammer down 48 in Newburgh. We got a wet one tonight. Time for some coffee or running a little bit behind as we get the new day underway. There's Jeffrey, Southern Florida on board. Morning, Steve, and the overnight family. Captain Ron. Well, there he is. Captain Ron is in the house for a minute. Got my work done almost to the home 20. 73 degrees in the Tampa Metroplex at this hour. How about a Semper Fi shout-out to the Knucklebuster and all my U.S. Marine Corps brethren. Good to hear from you, Captain Ron. Hope all's going well. Shorty. Oh, it's back to work, isn't it? I-95 southbound, the South Carolina-Georgia line with 73 degrees. Orlando turnaround, just one this week, but yes, we're back in the saddle again. Me and Bambi had a great time in Gatlinburg, Pigeon Fords, lots of food. Got to get back to work so we can get some rest here. Yeah, Shorty, looks like you indeed had a good time there. I saw you did a lot of down-home country cooking kind of stuff there at those home cooking restaurants in the Gatlinburg Pigeon Forge area. Looking good. All right, who else checking in here? Bill, good morning all. 37 degrees at the home 20, Horicon, Wisconsin. I think the weather's going backwards. We're calling for frost for the north and west areas of me. Got a phone call as I was leaving for work. It was my 17-year-old daughter calling from the gas station after school. Dad, I'm being forced to buy a horse. What? Who's forcing you to buy a horse? I asked her. The gas prices, she said. I told her, welcome to the real world. You're going to have to cut back on the Starbucks, I told her. Dad, I'm going to have to buy a horse. Yeah, she's not alone. Where are those prices going to go? Lines available. Phone lines open at 844-844-3388. News, a service of Industrial Injection, heavy-duty diesel parts and solutions, from injectors and pumps to turbochargers and engines, built for the trucks that cannot afford downtime.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. The Department of Justice says Cole Allen took a mirror selfie about 30 minutes before the Saturday shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Allen faces attempted assassination charges and could receive life in prison if convicted. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth says $400 million in aid to Ukraine has been released.
Hegseth tells a House Armed Services Committee budget hearing the funding was released earlier this week. The aid was allocated as part of the National Defense Authorization Act passed last year. Republican Senator Mitch McConnell has said the funding was delayed and has criticized Pentagon officials. Meantime, President Trump says he spoke to Russian President Vladimir Putin, and he says the Russian leader could soon announce what Trump calls a little ceasefire. I'm Jim Roop.
At the closing bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 280 points, the S&P 500 fell 2 points, and the Nasdaq gained 9 points. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Business owners, are you paying high phone bills for old school systems and lousy service? StrongTel cuts your phone bills in half and turns every phone you own into a feature-rich business system. Sean Roddy, CEO of Hennings Brothers Drilling, had this to say. We've been a StrongTel customer for over 10 years. It's great, and even includes an intercom with video to our equipment yard. I can watch live from anywhere with my smartphone. I'd recommend StrongTel to anyone. Never miss a customer call again with your StrongTel business system. StrongTel is a proud iTex partner and always welcomes your iTex dollars. You'll get award-winning StrongTel service, a business-class phone system, and cut your phone bill in half. Visit strongtel.com. That's StrongTel, StrongTel.com. It's StrongTel.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. Did you know? Some reports suggest the average lifespan of the American truck driver is around 61 years old. 61. Long hours, sitting all day, constant fatigue. It takes a toll, and most drivers just accept it as part of the job. But what if it's not just the job? What if it's how your body is handling it? There's a breakthrough technology called X39, designed to support your body's natural wellness. Here's what makes it different. It doesn't put anything into your body. No drugs, no stimulants, completely drug-free and non-transdermal. Instead, it uses your own body heat to stimulate your skin, helping elevate GHK-Cu peptides and support stem cell reactivation. That means supporting natural age-reversing processes, helping improve vitality, supporting daily activity, easing movement, and promoting deeper, more restorative sleep. If you spend long hours behind the wheel and want to feel the difference, call 888-687-9007 or visit cb.sycamorewellness.us. Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. Are you tired of those tax problems following you around like a dark cloud, always in the back of your mind, losing sleep at night? Call me now and get your life back. 888-557-4020 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com. Pretending they're not there won't make them go away. The IRS isn't going to forget. They will levy your bank account and garnish your wages. Don't wait for that to happen. I'm not telling you these things to scare you. I'm telling you so you can benefit from my years of experience. Now is the time to act. 888-557-4020.
Want to advertise your brand on the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive and help grow your business through one of the hottest radio shows and podcasts in America? We would love to hear from you. Rates have never been better to put your brand on our show, or maybe you just want to kick the tires. Email us at ssod@hotshotsecret.com and take the first steps towards taking your brand to the next level through advertising on the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
The Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers. Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios. Call Steve now. 844-844-3388. That's 844-844-3388.
Alrighty, Buckeye Boy checking in. Ackworth, Georgia, 71 degrees. Had a few sprinkles this morning. Turned out to be a pretty nice day. A lot of time on the phone, taking care of issues, scheduling adjustments. Looks like I'll be headed to Florence, South Carolina for a pickup. Couple of different locations coming back to Atlanta. And we'll deliver Monday. I'm going to try to vote tomorrow before I head out. Either way, have a great night, everybody. Be careful out there. All right, Kevin checking in. Morning, Steve, and the overnight crew. Hello from Dan from Amelia, Ohio. Santa Claus, top of the morning, 66 Elk Grove, California tonight. There's Rubber Duck. Sad news. Rest in peace to David Allen Coe. I saw that headline here just a bit ago. 86 years old, right? All right, yeah. Rest in peace, David Allen Coe. She never even called me by my name. All right, finished up cardiac rehab this past day. Now a few weeks. And another doctor's visit. Yeah, maybe, just maybe. You're trying to get the green light, right? You're trying to get back out there, maybe do something. All right, on down the line we go. Looks like the Democrats having a complete meltdown after this past day's Supreme Court ruling. Yes, that's also in our headlines coming up here. Yeah, Michael checking in for a few moments. All right, good to have you on board. Daniel from Glendive, Montana tonight. 44 degrees out. Weather's kind of good. Fuel prices, not so much. With all the gouging that's going on, I think it's time to reinstate the Glass-Steagall Act. I think a lot of this is market manipulation by the investment bankers. If they actually had to take possession of the commodity to trade it, actually put it all the way, the money all the way in, the price would drop overnight. I fear there's too many congressmen maybe making money off this. very well could be. And right now what we're watching is just, a little bit of panic in the markets that are, I think, somewhat unnecessarily jacking these prices up. Bill said gas went from $3.95 to $4.29 this past day. Yeah, be ready for Bill. If I wouldn't be a bit surprised. You'll see $4.79, $4.99 by later today, here Thursday. All right, there's one of our listening friends, Philip. What do we have? He said, my brother just got his CDL. He's having some trouble finding a job. I told him I'd ask around. Well, there's a question we can ask the listening audience out there. I'm not really up to speed. Where does a newbie go these days? And everyone has to, you got to pay your dues. You have to start somewhere. Now, I know, and I'm not up to speed, how things change over time. For many, many years, most of the bigger carriers would have, a stipulation of at least 1, maybe 2 years of experience, driving experience before they'd hire. Is that still the case today? Or have many of them, kind of reduced that down? Where's the best place to try to dip your toes in the water to get started out there for someone that just got a CDL? Maybe get some advice from the listeners out there. We'll see what we can do for you there, Philip. Hello, John Ferguson, morning from Ice Cap Cold Storage in Council Bluffs. These reefer loads are for the birds with appointment times. Hurry up and wait, but don't be late. Anyhow, welcome to the early fall, winter. Where are we at? What season are we in now? It gets confused. Be blessed. Sleep well if you're going to bed out there. Let's see. Michael, don't buy fuel in Illinois. The price is about to spike again. Michael, good morning. Good evening from Wellsville, Ohio. Somewhere about 40-ish degrees at this hour. Sitting here offloading my crude oil. This will be the last load of the night, then it's on to the yard. And we'll do it all again tomorrow. All right, good to have you with us. Gilligan, morning, Steve, fellow listeners. Driving in the moonlight, Max Meadows, Virginia tonight. Hanging in with 58 degrees. There you go. Keep it shiny side up. And we roll on into a Thursday, a.k.a. Friday Eve. So, the president instructing aides to prepare for an extended blockade of Iran. According to officials targeting the regime's coffers, it's kind of a high-risk bid to compel the nuclear capitulation that they've been refusing. Now, in recent meetings, including a Monday discussion in the Situation Room, the president opted to continue squeezing Iran's economy and oil exports, preventing shipping to and from their ports. He assessed that his other options, like resuming bombing or just walking away from the conflict, would carry more risk than maintaining the blockade. At the same time, continuing the blockade also prolongs a conflict, as we're seeing, that has driven up gas prices, which is not doing well for his polling numbers, and further darkening the Republicans' prospects in the midterm elections. We're also seeing the lowest number of transits through the Strait of Hormuz since the conflict began. In other words, Hormuz is at a standstill. Now, since ending the major bombing campaign April 7, the ceasefire, President Trump has repeatedly walked back from escalating the conflict, opening space for diplomacy. Now, but he still wants to tighten the grip on the regime until it caves to that key demand. That's dismantling all the nuclear work. President told aides Iran's three-step offer to reopen the strait and save those nuclear talks for the final phase. In his words, proved that Tehran is not negotiating in good faith. For the moment, the president is comfortable, they say, with an indefinite blockade, which he wrote on Tuesday via Truth Social, is pushing Iran toward a state of collapse. One U.S. official said the blockade is demonstrating that it is crushing Iran's economy. They're straining to store unsold oil, sparking fresh outreach by the regime to Washington. So this latest decision represents a new phase of sorts for the war and highlights the fact that the president, who always seeks a quick, soluble victory, doesn't really have a silver bullet per se. Unilaterally stopping the fight, would offer a quick exit to the conflict, relief to U.S. and global economies. But Iran's proposal last weekend would have allowed Tehran to set the terms of that particular off-ramp. Meanwhile, the president meeting with oil and gas executives, discussing the effects of the war. Words, according to Newsmax, Trump convened top industry leaders at the White House as the conflict continues to disrupt global energy markets. Now, the meeting included Chevron's CEO, Mike Wirth, senior administration officials such as the Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, advisors Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner. The high-level talks underscore the mounting economic stakes of this Iran conflict, which has effectively choked off a major portion of the world's oil supply. Now, for the president, the meeting reflects a hands-on approach to managing the geopolitical crisis and the domestic fallout here. One White House official tells Axios the president regularly engages with the energy executives, trying to gauge market conditions and shape policy decisions on production, exports, pricing. Obviously, the stakes are significant as gas prices climbing above $4 per gallon. At the same time, the supply crunch has created new opportunities for American energy producers, particularly in the oil and liquefied natural gas exports. Now, the president's kind of leaning into that advantage, touting U.S. energy dominance as a strategic tool to counter adversaries. They've already taken steps to blunt price spikes, regulatory moves to ease domestic shipping constraints. Options are pretty limited in the face of the global supply shocks. There's only so much we can do, right? It is 844-844-3388. Let's see. John, you're probably right on that. Talking about where does a new driver get started at? He said, only Americans need 1 or 2 years experience. Now, everybody else can just hop right in the truck, live the Somalian American dream. Sad, but somewhat true. All right, clear lines at 844-844-3388. A new day comes our way, the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. Did you know? Some reports suggest the average lifespan of the American truck driver is around 61 years old. 61. Long hours, sitting all day, constant fatigue. It takes a toll, and most drivers just accept it as part of the job. But what if it's not just the job? What if it's how your body is handling it? There's a breakthrough technology called X39, designed to support your body's natural wellness. Here's what makes it different. It doesn't put anything into your body. No drugs, no stimulants, completely drug-free and non-transdermal. Instead, it uses your own body heat to stimulate your skin, helping elevate GHK-Cu peptides and support stem cell reactivation. That means supporting natural age-reversing processes, helping improve vitality, supporting daily activity, easing movement, and promoting deeper, more restorative sleep. If you spend long hours behind the wheel and want to feel the difference, call 888-687-9007 or visit cb.sycamorewellness.us.
Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
Alrighty, welcome back here. Yeah, Philip said anything you can do to help my brother out there would be appreciated. You know who I am. Yeah, I remember shaking your hand there at Louisville, Mid-America Truck Show. Yeah, because it's Philip, but not Philip from Florida, right? Two different guys. I remember you. Gary says $4.79 a gallon. Wait a minute. That's price gouging. What they're doing, Gary, is they're passing along the price per barrel increase instantaneously. Brent crude at $125.50. Where might this go before the end of the show? Be interesting. All right, the Supreme Court ruling this past day. Philip from Florida brought it up last evening on the program. And it's happening all over the country with redrawing these maps, right? The voting maps. The Supreme Court, this was specific to Louisiana this past day. A major redistricting ruling. In a 6-3 decision, the court struck down Louisiana's new congressional map. The majority, the Supreme Court found the map amounted to what they called unconstitutional racial gerrymandering. The majority opinion written by Associate Justice Samuel Alito. Alito writes, another problem stemmed from the long unresolved question whether compliance with the Voting Rights Act provides a compelling reason that may justify the intentional use of race in drawing legislative districts. The ruling, widely celebrated by conservatives. Justice Clarence Thomas separately stated, quote, today's decision should largely put an end to this disastrous misadventure in voting rights jurisprudence. Now, all this, obviously, just a week after Virginia Democrats successfully passed that initiative that in that state would essentially disenfranchise 45% of voters with a 10-1 congressional map that favored their party. That's pretty much on hold right now, again, from a lower court. The Virginia Supreme Court, they weighed in on that earlier this week, saying that this hold can stay in place until we get this totally worked out. It's not like they overturned it, but they did not put a halt temporarily to it. President Trump responding to the Supreme Court decision, posting via Truth Social. Today's 6-3 Supreme Court decision in the Calais case, a big win for equal protection under the law, as it returns the Voting Rights Act to its original intent, which was to protect against intentional racial discrimination. Thank you to the brilliant Justice Samuel Alito for authoring this important and appropriate opinion. Congratulations, signed President Donald J. Trump. Now, all around the country, headlines. Alabama. The headline reads, Alabama Republicans push for new congressional map after the seismic Supreme Court ruling. Florida passes the redrawn map from Governor DeSantis there. Mississippi comes into the mix. The U.S. Supreme Court triggers Mississippi redistricting. A special session, apparently, will be taking place there. This is just going to be like dominoes tumbling across the country. The Supreme Court throwing out Louisiana's redrawn map this past day, siding with the Trump administration, triggering Mississippi's special session on redistricting. The court's 6 conservative members agreed that the newer version of the U.S. House voting districts map was unconstitutional gerrymander, violates the voting rights of the non-black voters who challenged it in court. A major blow to the 1965 Voting Rights Act, effectively rendering its second section moot. Now, Justice Elena Kagan, one of the 3 justices who dissented, wrote that the protections of the law are all but a dead letter. Now, what does that mean for Mississippi? Mississippi now has free rein to redraw their voting district maps at all levels without having to abide by the minority voter protection clauses in the Voting Rights Act. Governor Tate Reeves calling for a special session to take place 3 weeks after the court's decision. So that means legislators will come together in that state about May 20th. Neither Reeves nor other state leaders have put forward any suggested voting district maps, likely waiting for the court's decision to come down before beginning to campaign for new maps. Now, without the protections of the Voting Rights Act guarding the redistricting process, they say the sky is the limit for Mississippi. This state is a Republican trifecta, meaning that the party holds a majority in both chambers of the legislature as well as the governor's office, which means there will be little, if anything, the Democrat lawmakers can do to resist Republican-led redraw. One option for the state would be to revert to the voting district maps approved back in 2022, which reapportioned the state House and Senate districts, as well as the 4 U.S. House districts. The state legislature maps were struck down by a federal judge in 2024 who cited the same section of the Voting Rights Act that the Supreme Court just weakened. The judge ruled that the maps unlawfully diluted black voting power and forced the state to add 2 majority black state Senate districts and 1 in the House. The new Senate districts, 1 in DeSoto County and 1 in the Hattiesburg area, actually helped Democrats break the Republican supermajority in the chamber during last year's special elections. So I guess, like they say, the sky is the limit. Where does this go with redistricting all over the country? So that's, as John said earlier, the Democrats are just in total meltdown mode over the Supreme Court ruling this past day. All right, Scrapyard in the house, waving all five. Good to have you on board, taking care of some business there. Pappy going to be checking in following our news update as we close out hour number one. More details coming up. As I mentioned, I hope you haven't put away your winter weather attire yet. A new batch of cold air going to be settling into the Midwest and the Northeast later this week into the weekend. Yeah, frosts and freezes. More on the horizon. First, news a service of industrial injection. Since 1985, diesel owners have counted on us for fuel injection, turbochargers, and engine solutions. Learn more at industrialinjection.com.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. Did you know? Some reports suggest the average lifespan of the American truck driver is around 61 years old. 61. Long hours, sitting all day, constant fatigue. It takes a toll, and most drivers just accept it as part of the job. But what if it's not just the job? What if it's how your body is handling it? There's a breakthrough technology called X39, designed to support your body's natural wellness. Here's what makes it different. It doesn't put anything into your body. No drugs, no stimulants, completely drug-free and non-transdermal. Instead, it uses your own body heat to stimulate your skin, helping elevate GHK-Cu peptides and support stem cell reactivation. That means supporting natural age-reversing processes, helping improve vitality, supporting daily activity, easing movement, and promoting deeper, more restorative sleep. If you spend long hours behind the wheel and want to feel the difference, call 888-687-9007 or visit cb.sycamorewellness.us. All roads lead to Manheim, Pennsylvania Mother's Day weekend. Join Steve Sommers Saturday, May 9th at the 37th Annual Make-A-Wish Mother's Day Truck Convoy at the Manheim, Pennsylvania Auto Auction. The event features a family fest with food trucks, games, entertainment, plus a cargo of Wish Kids riding in the trucks on the new 33-mile route that travels through Lancaster and Dauphin County and Route 283 West. Join our team, or if you can't make it but want to make a difference for Make-A-Wish by making a donation, get all the details at overnightdriveradio.com.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. President Trump is rejecting an Iranian proposal to end the U.S. blockade and reopen the Strait of Hormuz, demanding guarantees on curbing Iran's nuclear program, saying they cannot have a nuclear weapon. He also praised the blockade as more effective than bombing and warned it could get worse for Iran. Republicans praise War Secretary Pete Hegseth at a budget hearing. Texas Congressman Ronnie Jackson thanks him for saving the department.
We are not wasting all of our time talking about how to restructure the Department of War into a social experiment that appeases the far-left woke agenda.
Hegseth says the biggest adversary is Democrats' feckless words, not Iran. The Pentagon reports the war has cost around $25 billion so far. Lee Zeldin and Representative Rosa DeLauro clashed over EPA authority and a proposed agency budget cut.
A tense exchange unfolded during a House hearing as Lee Zeldin defended the Environmental Protection Agency's budget request and emphasized recent Supreme Court rulings shaping federal authority. Zeldin clashed with Representative Rosa DeLauro over regulatory precedent and agency powers. The hearing centered on a proposed budget cut of more than 50% of the Environmental Protection Agency. Supporters framed the debate as a question of oversight and balance of power, while critics warn of weakened environmental protections. Ron Warner, USA Radio News.
The Department of Justice says former FBI Director James Comey is indicted for knowingly making a threat to kill the president.
Tuesday, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche said Comey faces 2 felony charges related to threats against President Trump.
Threatening the life of the President of the United States will never be tolerated by the Department of Justice.
The latest charges are connected to a social media post featuring the message 8647, which which the DOJ says was a call to assassinate Trump. Last year, the DOJ charged Comey for allegedly lying to Congress. Federal judge later dismissed the case. John Sommers, USA Radio News.
From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
No matter who we are or where we come from, we all experience difficulties in life.
Military veterans know that sometimes it takes strength and determination to make it through.
Whether it's obvious physical challenges or struggles on the inside, it takes strength to ask for help when you need it.
I knew that I had to get support, not just for me, but for the sake of my wife and kids.
Talking about it has helped me feel more like myself again.
Honestly, it was hard to open up at first, but it's changed my life for the better.
Learn how veterans like us have reached out for help. And hear stories of strength and recovery at MakeTheConnection.net.
A California man now charged with trying to assassinate the president is back in court tomorrow for a detention hearing.
A federal judge in Washington, D.C. must decide if Cole Thomas Allen should remain in jail before his trial. In his hometown of Torrance, some neighbors admit they didn't know him very well, but they had positive things to say about his parents. The 31-year-old studied at Caltech and worked as a tutor. A woman who works next door to the tutoring business told the BBC that Allen often avoided eye contact and didn't want to interact. I'm Mark Mayfield.
A former youth pastor in Jacksonville, Florida, is facing charges after a month-long sheriff's investigation. Joshua Trent has been charged with 2 felony counts of sexual battery involving a minor that he met through a local church. Investigators say the abuse spanned years while he held a position of trust.
Because the victim appeared to be under the age of 18 at the time this took place, there may be crimes that are alleged without more detail that we know that could be brought at this point.
He's currently out on a $400,000 bond pending trial. Mother's Day is coming up on May 10th, and yes, we're all happily opening our wallets once again.
The average person is expected to spend about $250 this year, mostly on flowers, brunch, and things Mom will insist she absolutely loves, even if she has no idea what it is. Nationwide spending could top $30 billion, which just proves one thing. When it comes to Mom, we don't mind going big. Although most moms insist they really don't need a thing, they really do love macaroni art. I'm Monica Nelson.
And I'm Anthony Lucero, USA Radio News.
Would you know where to turn if you or a loved one became paralyzed? For thousands of families, the National Paralysis Resource Center has been that lifeline. But now federal funding's at risk. Sherman Gillums Jr., a partially paralyzed Marine veteran with the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation, explains why.
This is about more than just a budget line. It's about veterans, caregivers, and families, real people who need these resources to live more productive and independent lives.
Learn more at ChristopherReeve.org.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. All roads lead to Manheim, Pennsylvania Mother's Day weekend. Join Steve Sommers Saturday, May 9th at the 37th Annual Make-A-Wish Mother's Day Truck Convoy at the Manheim, Pennsylvania Auto Auction. The event features a family fest with food trucks, games, entertainment, plus a cargo of Wish Kids riding in the trucks on the new 33-mile route that travels through Lancaster and Dauphin County and Route 283 West. Join our team, or if you can't make it but want to make a difference for Make-A-Wish by making a donation, get all the details at overnightdriveradio.com.
Keep the bugs off your glass and the smokies off your ass. This is the Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers.
Time zone to time zone. Time to get a new day underway as we work our way into the final day of April here. April 30 of 2026. So good to have you with us. Welcome back. Welcome aboard. Heading toward the weekend. Thursday coming our way. We're just kind of gearing up for a new batch of cold going to settle into the Midwest, Northeast as we head into the weekend, bringing the potential for frost and freezes in areas, in some cases that were affected last week, as well as some places that actually avoided damage. There are some key differences in the setup this time versus last week that may limit the potential for damage. Cold not being as concentrated on one small area of the country. Still, people across much of the central and eastern U.S. Get ready to reach for the jackets, the long sleeve shirts from right through the upcoming weekend. Last week's chill was more or less confined to the northeasternmost reaches of the country. This time around, you're going to need your jackets if you're heading, say, from Louisville, Kentucky. Saturday for Derby Day. Rain at this point is forecast to hold off. I forgot. We got Derby weekend coming up here, right? The setup will bring unusually chilly days to the south central and southeast U.S. A lot of cloud cover, periods of rain, although much needed rain in portions of the southeast. Some record low high temperatures may be set in the southern states. We'll be talking some high temperatures in the 40s and 50s. Areas that normally be in the 70s and 80s this time of year, we're talking 20, 30 degrees below average. Temperatures, especially the daytime highs in the Midwest and Northeast, running as much as 10 degrees below average this time. All right, we'll see multiple days with highs in the upper 50s in New York City, in the Northeast and the upper Midwest. Last week's prolonged periods of below freezing overnight temperatures, that was air originating in northern Canada. It combined with light winds and clear skies, ideal conditions for temperatures to plunge into the 20s and even the teens. This week, colder air is driven by a large storm in the jet stream rather than the sprawling area of Arctic high pressure. Systems like this tend to produce breezes, areas of low clouds that can linger after dark, acting kind of like a blanket. And the breeze helps prevent the coldest air from settling near the ground. All right, so because of the clouds and the breeze, temperatures may hover just above freezing at night, or if they do drop below the freezing mark, it would be just briefly. There will be the risk of some spotty frost in the normally colder outlying areas. Low temperatures forecast for about 6 feet above ground. Temperatures near the ground, away from paved surfaces, can actually be 5 to 10 degrees lower than the forecast low when the sky's clear and the nights are calm. So, in other words, pockets of frost for the upper Midwest to start the weekend, spreading to the Ohio Valley and the central Appalachians late in the weekend on into early next week. All right, oil prices we had been following. Prices briefly hit $126 per barrel here within the past hour. Suddenly plummeting, dropping to $121 per barrel at this moment. It's been, that's the wildest price per barrel swing that I've seen in an hour's time, maybe ever. That jump from 121 to 126 and then suddenly back to 121. That's morning, Pappy. What's happening?
Rolling squares and shining buttons.
Wait a minute. You ain't got to go to work.
No, I don't. I got to be down in the sheriff's office at 0900 to get my plaque and watch for saying thank you.
Oh, okay.
Enjoy retirement.
Yeah.
Several years ago, Steve, they didn't really do anything. You just kind of fade off into the sunset. And I guess a few years ago, they started saying, you know what, man, we need to start doing something for these retirees. So it's a little something they do. So I just got a text from one of my lieutenants, and hey, reminding you to be downtown tomorrow, 0900 Sheriff's Office, get your plaque. I'm like, what? I'm like, it's the first time hearing about it, man. He's like, well, I guess it's a good thing I texted you to remind you. Jeez, oh, Pete. That would have been funny if he wouldn't have texted me. I wouldn't have been there, and they would have been like, "Where the hell's he at?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got to tell somebody. Oh, listen, Steve, man, these Democrats are getting smoked when it comes to this redoing the boundaries and everything. Right? They are getting smoked, man. If everything still kind of goes our way, so to speak, we're going to come out on the losing end of all this, man. I guess Virginia was one of the big ones. I guess they would how many seats they would have gained?
That was going to be a five-seat Democrat swing.
Yeah. But, you know, as the typical Democrats do, right, to change their constitution, I think you talked about this, that they would have had to put it up for a vote, not just once, but twice. And they didn't do that. Right? Mm-hmm. So that's why the judge came down and said, he can't do that. So I guess it's going to the Virginia Supreme Court now, and it's not looking good for the Democrats.
Yep.
Yeah. I heard something else back in the late 1700s when they were divvying up all this territory, that when Maryland was formed in Virginia, that there was something in their constitution that these boundary lines, right, are to be set for in perpetuity, forever. They can't. Mm-hmm. They cannot be changed. And then, for whatever reason, in 1847, I think it was, that Virginia annexed a county in Maryland, and nobody fought it or did anything about it. And so that's another thing that they're saying that they're going to probably lose on, is that whole annex back in 1847 was done illegally. So they're probably going to lose that. We'll see. That Florida, Ron DeSantis, I think that just got approved.
Right.
Texas is hammering it down. So I don't know if Gavin, real cream, little dab will do you, Newsom out there in California. He's the one. Well, they've been doing this for years. I mean, it's but I think Newsom really was the one that kind of started this whole thing here lately. Just political games, Steve. And then to try to pull the race card. Oh my God. Jeez. Anyway, hey, these gas prices, man. Man, I did not know they went up to, what'd you say, 122 today, but they're 127, but they're dropping.
It hit 126 last hour, and it's back to 121 right now. But yeah, wow. I mean, I think John Matarese was sharing some prices here in town at $4.79 and $4.99.
Steve, I remember the 2020 election. My daughter Amanda out in L.A. She's not a hard leftist. Okay, I don't go that far on her, but she's leaning Democratic, right? Because she's been living out there so long and hanging around with some of her friends, so we get in these arguments all the time. And I remember telling her, as soon as Biden was elected, I was parked at the gas station. I was working, and I took a picture of the gas sign. I still got it, I think. I'm wanting to say gas was like $2.89 or something a gallon. And I told her, I said, you watch, gas prices are going to go up. Oh, Dad, I don't know. It was like 4 months later. I pulled right back into that daggone gas station and took another snapshot. And gas went up at least $1 a gallon. What nobody realizes, Steve, do you know when everybody was complaining here before it even hit, I think the highest hit was 107 or 117, but then it kind of dropped back down, in the 80s and 90s a barrel here lately. And the amount of complaining, which, listen, man, I get it. But during the Biden administration, at the highest point, a barrel of crude was going for $133 a barrel, Steve. Did you know that?
I do recall. Yeah, that's the record prices. Yeah,
$133 a barrel, without no war going on, without the daggone Straits of Hormuz being shut down. So, we'll see what happens here. I know with Trump's statement today, but I think this is going to be wrapped up here real soon, Steve. We're not going to, let these talks keep going and going and going. It's going to get wrapped up here real soon. Like I said last night, they're either going to tap out or they're going to get smoked. And I just prefer to get smoked because I don't want the regime in there still, Steve. And people, regime change, we can't have that. Well, yes, we didn't send all these armament over there and troops losing lives to walk away without Iran becoming a free country. That's my 2 cents worth. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
What else is going on, man? Anything else is happening? Hey, man, it can stay cool as long as it wants here for a couple more weeks. Damn AC has a pretty good leak. And I had him out. I knew it. I had him I think it was towards the end of fall there. I just knew it. I just had him recharge it. I knew I was going to lose it. I was running on emergency heat, during the winter here for a while. But anyway, hey, you guys got to come out here and fix this. $2,200 worth of fix. I said, damn, I could damn near buy a whole new condensing unit for that, man. But unfortunately, to fix the leak, they got to, pull a valve, pull something out. When they do that, all the Freon gets dumped.
Right.
They lose it.
Yeah.
You got to recharge the whole system. So we're coming out the 7th to do that. So these temperatures can stay right around 65, 70, even in the 50s. I'm fine with that. I'll tell you what, man, it gets about 75 for whatever reason. I guess the heat, man, the back part of my house, it just gets crushed with sun, man. If I really wanted to go solar, man, I could put some solar panels on the backside of this roof, and, man, they would soak it up. But if it gets about 75, sunny, and I don't turn the air on, I don't know how. It can be, but it gets up to like 82, 83, 84 in here.
Yep.
It's hot in this daggone house. So I'm kind of glad to hear the temperatures are going to pretty be not hot here for the next week or so. So, all right, bud, that's really all I got, man. Man, when you were talking about all this, the states and you were doing all this, I think the Democrats stepped on their own toes, man. We'll see. Stay safe, brother.
All
Appreciate you taking the call.
All right, get those buttons polished and look all spiffy. And make sure you get plenty of pictures there tomorrow when you get your plaque and your watch. Congratulations. I think we got a Diesel Dan, I do believe, a first-time caller coming up.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. Did you know? Some reports suggest the average lifespan of the American truck driver is around 61 years old. 61. Long hours, sitting all day, constant fatigue. It takes a toll, and most drivers just accept it as part of the job. But what if it's not just the job? What if it's how your body is handling it? There's a breakthrough technology called X39, designed to support your body's natural wellness. Here's what makes it different. It doesn't put anything into your body. No drugs, no stimulants, completely drug-free and non-transdermal. Instead, it uses your own body heat to stimulate your skin, helping elevate GHK-Cu peptides and support stem cell reactivation. That means supporting natural age-reversing processes, helping improve vitality, supporting daily activity, easing movement, and promoting deeper, more restorative sleep. If you spend long hours behind the wheel and want to feel the difference, call 888-687-9007 or visit cb.sycamorewellness.us.
Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
All right, rolling into a brand new day, a.k.a. a Thursday. Is that Diesel Dan? Is that correct?
Hello?
Hi there.
Hi, this is the Diesel Damsel, actually. I think it cut out on me when I was introducing myself, so I apologize. Thank you for taking my call tonight,
Absolutely.
Mr. Sommers.
The Diesel Damsel. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
I love your show. I've been listening for so long. My husband and I are team drivers, and he turned me on to you about 14 years ago, and I haven't hardly missed an episode. And if I don't catch it at night, I listen at the podcast the next day, and it keeps me occupied for 5 hours, and that's a good thing when you're sitting out here for as long as we do. So
absolutely
love your show. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about your uncle. I heard about that. We had some time off last year, so I didn't know when he passed away. That was Uncle Fred, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. We had some time off because we had our truck broke down on us, and oh boy, that was a big job. It was an oil cooler, and they had to tear everything apart up to the engine, and it was like it took about all through the holidays. We didn't get back out. We were off from Thanksgiving all the way till the beginning of January, so it was a big job.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, I just wanted to let you know that love your show and talk about these. You should call me the Diesel Damsel in Distress.
Oh, yeah.
With these fuel prices out here, my gosh.
Yes, yeah,
crazy.
I can't help but wonder with where the price per barrel is now, where they're going to go in the next few days. Probably going to see a big jump.
Oh yeah. When it was, I think it went up to 110 or 112 a barrel, maybe about 2-3 weeks ago, and it was 806 in California.
Wow.
Yeah, that is one crazy state. Now, luckily, we have, because we have corporate prices, so we get a little relief at the pump, but it's still a lot to take in, and but I also wanted to congratulate Pappy on his retirement, and we're looking at that at the end of this year, so we're working on that, and we can't wait. So
is that right?
Seems like it's going to be it seems like it's going to be a long 8 months, and I don't know where the last 14 years has gone, but we've both been driving for over 30 years.
So you've seen a lot of changes out there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like with these, I like Eagle says, I've noticed a little bit of a difference out here with them cracking down on these drivers, the English proficiency and not as aggressive as driving. And when you come to a construction zone and it's got a sign, that's model next to you down to one lane, you see some of these people start falling in behind you. But there's still a handful on some of the interstates that, like the main vein that goes, I-40 is still seems to still be pretty, have some pretty bad drivers out there.
Aggressive, yeah.
Aggressive, very aggressive. And, tailgating you and can't get out of their way fast enough, So,
well, Diesel Damsel, I've got your number here so we can get you all a first-time caller code. I'm not sure if you've, all those years, I bet they've been using Hot Shots. I got to get to my news break, though. If you want to hang in there, we'll be back right after this. Roll it into a Thursday edition of the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. The Department of Justice says Cole Allen took a mirror selfie about 30 minutes before the Saturday shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Allen faces attempted assassination charges and could receive life in prison if convicted. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth says $400 million in aid to Ukraine has been released.
Hegseth tells a House Armed Services Committee budget hearing the funding was released earlier this week. The aid was allocated as part of the National Defense Authorization Act passed last year. Republican Senator Mitch McConnell has said the funding was delayed and has criticized Pentagon officials. Meantime, President Trump says he spoke to Russian President Vladimir Putin, and he says the Russian leader could soon announce what Trump calls a little ceasefire. I'm Jim Roop.
At the closing bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 280 points, the S&P 500 fell 2 points, and the Nasdaq gained 9 points. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Business owners, are you paying high phone bills for old school systems and lousy service? StrongTel cuts your phone bills in half and turns every phone you own into a feature-rich business system. Sean Roddy, CEO of Hennings Brothers Drilling, had this to say. We've been a StrongTel customer for over 10 years. It's great. It even includes an intercom with video to our equipment yard. I can watch live from anywhere with my smartphone. I'd recommend StrongTel to anyone. Never miss a customer call again with your StrongTel business system. StrongTel is a proud iTex partner and always welcomes your iTex dollars. You'll get award-winning StrongTel service, a business-class phone system, and cut your phone bill in half. Visit strongtel.com. That's StrongTel, StrongTel.com. It's StrongTel.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Like the men and women who power America, the people at Hot Shot Secret work hard and play harder. We're the fastest growing diesel and oil additive brand in the country. We solve problems. We protect engines. we save you money. And more importantly, time. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
Advertising on the Steve Summers Overnight Drive can make a huge difference for your business.
This is Dean Michael, the tax doctor, and I just want to say advertising on Steve Summers' show has been the best marketing avenue for my business, providing the best return on investment consistently over everything else I've tried. I've done it all from TV commercials, pay-per-click on Google, search engine optimization, social media, and publishing ads in major magazines, but none of them came even close to doing what Steve Summers' show did for me.
If you're interested in advertising on the Steve Summers Overnight Drive, drop